afternoon garage time. Yeah. So we're going to work on this today. Again, flip it over and take the intake parts off of it. I'm going to have to take the fuel system off first, you know, being the sensor plate and that whole housing and the fuel distributor and, you know, all the injectors and that kind of thing. And then we'll get down to the intake and take the intake off. Hopefully don't have any broken bolts there like we did last time. You know, there was 5 or 6, 7 studs that actually busted, and it was pretty much a scene. And I definitely don't want to go through that again. But now I'm through all the exhaust parts, and hopefully I won't come across that again. But anyway, we'll get this flipped around, and of course the whole goal is to get these valve covers off and get some tools on those head studs and see what kind of torque they're at and see if there's any broken head studs. I'm thinking I'm going to be lucky on this one. Wow, I took that thing off. Yeah, I left part of the injection system over here. I left the injectors and the little spacers and took them off over here. Just trying to see if they came off. They both, you can leave them on or take them off. In hindsight, probably be a good idea to take them off because that was kind of hard getting that whole thing. But you can see here that, man, very little corrosion on these studs here. I'm really happy about all this. We didn't break anything, and well, now we can get to taking the housing of the shroud, I guess is what you call it, the cooling shroud off. And the alternator's in here. We need to get in there to change that out. But now we're getting close to getting the valve covers off and getting the head studs checked. That's really what I want to do. So that's my ultimate goal probably today is to see what they look like in there. But you know what? Got it apart. Doesn't look too bad. All right, now I've got this torn down pretty far. You can see this is a baffle for the alternator. This thing right here is a cooling fan, and it actually doubles as the alternator too. So you can see there that bearing's kind of swimming around in there. So it's not doing anything, and it's actually probably distorted the housing. More importantly, let's look at the front of this thing. You can see the pulley here, and that's not good either, and I think that's the noise I was getting. So I don't know whether whoever was working on this left that loose or... Anyway, I got this alternator loose. I'm going to take it apart and, you know, take this pulley off. But that was the clicking I was for sure hearing. So that's good. So bearings are out in the rear. Looks like we need a new alternator. That's a weird little thing, isn't it? There's clearly no spacers in the front. Just a nut and part of the pulley. And it looks like... Oh, shoot. Well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad, but it's supposed to have 4 spacers, and this explains why this thing is loose, because, well, it's not taking up all the space. Okay, now in preparation to wash this motor, you can see we need to tape these off here. So you got, these are the intake ports, and they still have some gasket material left on them, a bunch of grease and that kind of thing. You can see this is kind of hard. That's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, you can use a razor blade, kind of get in there. And then, you know, I have a rotary tool I'm going to be using. And the whole idea is to make them look like that. So these are already done here. They look pretty good. I'm able to leave my studs in, thank God, and kind of work around them a little bit. But these need to be about this clean in order to put the gaskets on and reassemble it, and also to have a sticky surface so we can stick a piece of duct tape on there and get this whole motor clean. Yeah, that's a sit-down job, for sure. So I'm taking all this gasket material off, and I see that there's 3 helicoils installed in here. Darn it. I don't know if they're helicoils or big threaded inserts, but this one here is not ground flush. So it's standing proud, probably 1/16 of an inch, and that's not going to be good for gasket sealing right around there. And in fact, it looked like it was leaking there. So we'll have to address these a little bit. That's too bad. There's helicoils in there. Well, I guess we'll find out on the other side. I don't know, maybe this is the way they come. It doesn't look like, this looks hammered. Same kind of thing here. I just had to pull these tubes off to get these shields off, and they're not shields, they're heat baffles, I guess. So they distribute the heat.
With the heat.
And these collapse. So these are the oil drain tubes. They collapse, come out, and got these all masked up. Make that one look like that one, and ready to wash. See, look at that. Just one application of this stuff, brushed it around, it's pretty much all clean. So flip it around, do the other side, but this Super Clean and 140-degree water just beats the hell out of buying, you know, the aerosol cans and crap like that. You know, all this. There's just so many engine cleaning products. This is just the best thing to do. It's biodegradable, so it just dissolves the grease. And man, it does a fantastic job one time. Imagine what it's going to look like when I've done them 3 times. Yeah, it's very excited. It's finally coming together. All right, about 24 hours later, got the engine dried off. Looks pretty good. The only thing I'm left with, there's kind of age spots on the aluminum. It's kind of what I call them. But yeah, I got a little corrosion here and there. But you know, overall, there's no grease here, and you know, I got all the stuff in between the fins. Once again, that Super Clean is just a lifesaver. That and hot water, and what you really don't want to do is, you know, I have gaskets here that are kind of compromised. So what you really don't want to do is you just don't want to take a pressure washer and blast anything off in here. And it's really not necessary. Pressure washing really isn't going to release the bond of the grease with the cylinder heads and that kind of thing, but man, it looks pretty good. So I think the next thing to do is to you know, pull off the cam covers here. I have a Carrera hydraulic chain tensioner, so you know, anything that's a rubber part or something like that's probably going to be a little compromised and probably need to be changed. You know, originally I thought I was just gonna, you know, kind of do a freshen up on it, and doesn't really look like that's going to happen because, you know, you've taken it down this far, and you'd be kind of a fool not to change everything. So, you know, front and rear main seals. Unfortunately, I got sick, so I don't know when the next video is going to come out. But hey, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. There's lots more interesting things going to come. I think this engine's really going to look fantastic. So, thanks for watching.